Welcome back to Cardcaptor Sakura and review part 18. This review episodes 11 to 15. Names of these episodes are Sakura and the Upside Down Penguin, Sakura and the Ice Ball Sports Tournament, Sakura Meiling's Return, Sakura, the Shrine, and the Zoo, and finally Sakura's Nostalgic Viewing Party. First up with this episode, the Upside Down Penguin. Which even what happens in this episode is like, okay. So Sakura and the gang are walking to the park, and all of a sudden they notice and they talk about what happened when they caught the strength card. You know, with the penguin, the king penguin, which is called the penguin, turned upside down, which also happens in this episode, though it's a different card this time. Yep. And not only turns him penguin upside down, it turns like everything upside down. The little penguins are on it. It turns a jungle gym. Yes, a frickin' jungle gym. Turns upside down. And was about to do anything to a seesaw when Sakura basically captures it and just, well, seals it up. And that's pretty much what it is for this episode here. There's also a bit of character, a little bit of, let's say, plot development with Kyoto when Shaoran decides to, well, after they have to spend some time shopping, they come home. What does he do? Uses Skype to call Ariel. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's frickin' Skype. Because what else could it be? Because he's calling him from his laptop, so it must be Skype he's using. Even though they don't say it's Skype, it pretty much is. It's frickin' Skype. And apparently Ariel basically used magic to move a chair and noticed that the Miyazaki is coming with tea. Oh yeah, and it's kind of implied these two are lovers due to the fact they hold hands the way a lover would. Despite the fact he looks like a frickin' like 11, 12 years old, and she is practically in her 20s. So hey, at least he got himself a smoking hot woman. Good on you, man. Yep, and that's pretty much it when it comes to that one. The Ice Ball Sports Tournament. Yep, we have the characters participating in sports stuff. Yep, we have Sakura participating in a basketball game. We have Lee, Shaoran with Ahio in a badminton match. Oh yeah, and also they also mentioned that apparently video recording or not exactly, you can't do that. But Kiro decided to videotape anyways. Oh yeah, he also did this thing in episode 11 where he kind of videotaped because, well, Tomoyo wasn't available for this particular come to the park. So Tomoyo gave her his own camera, which looks like a freaking webcam. Yeah, it looks like one of those ball webcams that he just puts on his head. I'm like, okay, and I think I got ruined because he had to catch Sakura because Sakura was turned upside down as well. Yeah, and by the way, the card they captured in episode 11, reversal card. In the case of this one, it is. What is this one? Yeah, it's pretty simple what this one is. Yeah. So, middle of the Batman match, Scott starts threatening. Of course, we notice when Shaoran sight. And then it starts raining. Frickin' hail. Lucky enough, this is ice. It takes whoever goes inside except for Sakura, Shaoran, and Tomoyo, and of course Kiro. So so Shaoran tries to use his particular, let's just say his magic dividing his thing doesn't work, so he uses like a talisman, just stabs in the frickin' ground, creates a fire dragon, and then Sakura seals with the frickin' card. As for how the heck he knows this, apparently he knows like special spells that's actually with the Lee family. Okay? And it was pretty simple enough. It was pretty much that particular card. Now, starting episode 13 up until they kind of wrap this up with episode 16. I'll talk about 16 in the next part. Basically, Mailing comes back to Japan because, well, he kind of surprised Sakura right after school, and Sharon asks like, "Where are you gonna stay?" Does say with she first goes by her last name. I don't know why, but she does. Yeah, she did the same thing in the movie as well. So she stays with her, and they do. So, spends the night. Of course, he gets contact briefly with Sakura's father. Of course, he's also was seen briefly in the previous episode where he has, well, breakfast with Sakura. When he goes back in his expedition, he's very busy a lot lately. And of course, she basically worries about him, which any daughter probably would about her own father. Which I'm sure he basically is appreciates the concern. hmm Yep, so he calls up Sakura, they have a conversation, and Mei Ling kind of introduces herself to Sakura's father. They have a great conversation, they have no problem with him saying it. And of course, they also mentioned in the previous episode that she asked him permission to look at his library. Because yeah, tomorrow basically going to clean it up. I'm sure this is going to happen in probably a future episode. So yeah, and in the case of this one, it's just, well, it also this thing where at the end of the episode where Mei Ling starts spawning cats, thus setting up the events of the very cat ears and a tail. 13, meanwhile, is the first episode of this series where it doesn't involve a card. No, it's just basically characters having conversations. We see a hero basically going a little bit more of the Alice and Claw clan, or talks about apparently she might be a liar because she sees her friend spawning cat ears. Mm-hmm. All this does is basically set the events of the very next episode, which pretty much you have everybody go to the shrine, even though they just all go to the zoo. And so they basically hang out the shrine because marketplace. And then they go have coffee. Of course, they go some shopping as well. And really, not only that, Mei Ling starts sprouting cat ears. We have everybody basically sprouting animal traits except for Sharon for some reason. Yeah, it's never explained why he doesn't really get like why that is. And then Sakura is sent to another dimension. Apparently, no one notices. This dimension apparently is orbiting the frickin' planet. Because in the sky of this dimension, we see frickin' Earth. Over in the distance, we see the frickin' moon. So apparently this little area is below the planet, and nobody questions this. It's kind of like this was a mini planet, like in the Earth solar system, but below Earth. That's what it looks like to me. hmm Oh yeah, and Lee gets in there using time magic, also slicing through a frickin' like sky or whatever. And of course, he collapses in Sakura's arms. So Sakura's able to see the card, and it's the Mirage card. Yep, the Mirage card. Of course, nobody remembers exactly what the heck happened, and apparently Kiro is immune to all of this because, well, he has magical powers. Shaoan makes sense. Yeah, but as why he doesn't spout any animal traits, I have no idea. There's also one point when they have all the characters where they slowly turn to animals and they run to a tree and they get hit by freaking lightning. And eventually, well, Sakura blames himself for what happened, but it's all pretty much about the end of the episode. Next episode, Nostalgic View Party. We have Mei Ling, Sakura, and Kyo basically go to Tomoyo's house, which is this. I think this is the second time in the franchise they've actually visited the house. Like, they enter the gate, perfectly fine, and then they open the door, and Tomoyo's mother basically has Sakura, he hugs, he gives her a big hug, because she treats Sakura like her own daughter. hmm Yeah, and she says, oh yeah, I was clear my schedule, basically, and then we come over. The reason why she's like this, because she cared very deeply for Sakura's mother, because they're cousins. So yeah. So they go to her home movie room. Yep. Not her bedroom this time. No, last time was a bedroom. This time it's a home movie theater which shows up the plays. Shows up like possible past plays. And the play they show up is the play from the second movie. They mentioned Earthquake happened, though they didn't mention this film basically took that the events of the second movie took place during the summer. This is actually the second time the movie's been brought up. Though but one can tell the film is semi-canon because the play itself still counts as canon Except that, well, here's kind of the thing. The only thing you can definitely say about the film is not canon is nothing card, because not even mention the show itself. Yes, and they mentioned earthquake happened. Yeah, they don't exactly explain what the heck happened with that. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, the ground around Tomorrow's mansion starts shaking. We're going to find out the next episode. Where they'll talk about that in my next review for Cardcaptor Sakura, which is like one of the last 7 episodes of the series. Yep. So Sakura uses the snooze card, knocks out Aho, like Aho Aikido, and then basically we have Tomoyo's mother and her female bodyguards. I'm like, there's no guys in this house? Seriously. It's like, okay, we have like a half a dozen female bodyguards, no male servants. Does Tomoyo's mom hate men? I don't know. She had no problem when Lee came over to her house. Yeah, I think it's actually the third time in the series Sakura basically has been to her house, because she went twice during the original arc of the series, which is the first 2 seasons. She didn't go at all in the previous arc, and then of course this arc as well. Yep. And she used news card on all of them. And, well, Sakura does apologize to Tomoyo for basically putting her mother to sleep, but she actually is perfectly understandable about this. Yeah, she has no problem with her doing this, because she's just protecting her mother from whatever's out there. So stay here, okay? So, we gotta record this, so put the webcam back on Kiro's head. Okay, so she uses a flight car, which apparently the flight car is being nice to her, so they fly up, and that's the end of the episode. I'd say overall, this is a good set of 5 episodes. Unlike in the case of the previous 5, where the first one was weak, none of these episodes are bad. They're really good. Except that when it comes to episode 13, there's no action in this episode. It's mostly just a lot of the character development, which is fine. I've got no problem with that, which is great. You got at least have a breather for, let's just say, before the next episode. At least I got high praise the anime for that. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. One more review I'm going to do, and it'll be the return of the movie review series. Yes. You'll find my review next, okay? Do this next review. Bye.